2, in the heart of a bustling town named Sunville, amidst the chorus of car horns and the hurried footsteps of people on their way to work, lived a tiny bird named Pico. Now, Pico was a bit different. While most birds preferred the sturdy branches of tall trees, Pico's home was a cozy nest, perched right on the roof of a bakery. Every morning, the warm, comforting scent of fresh bread and sweet pastries would drift up to him, making his little nest the most wonderful spot in all of Sunville. The baker, Mrs. Lila, was a woman with a kind heart and a gentle touch. Each day, without fail, she would leave a sprinkle of breadcrumbs on her windowsill. "Good morning, Pico," she'd call out with a warm smile. In response, Pico would chirp back a cheerful tune, fluttering his tiny wings as a thank you. But even in this happy home, Pico felt a pull towards the unknown. He would often gaze at the distant mountains that framed the town and wonder, what's it like out there? Are there forests and rivers and skies bigger than this one? The world beyond Sunvale was a mystery. While he was curious, a small part of him was also afraid. The town was all he had ever known. One morning, as the rising sun painted the rooftops in shades of gold, Pico encountered a group of pigeons. They had flown in from the train station, looking worldly and confident. "Hey, little guy," one of them said, puffing out his chest. "You live here, in this noisy place." Pico, full of pride for his home, nodded. "Yes, it's not so bad. There's food, music, and kind people." The pigeons just laughed. "You should see the big city. It's all bright lights, towering buildings, and people dropping food all day long. That's where the real action is." Pico tilted his head, intrigued. The idea sounded exciting, but also incredibly daunting. He'd never flown beyond the familiar streets of Sunvale. That night, sleep wouldn't come. Twinkle. The distant city lights twinkled on the horizon, like a cluster of stars beckoning him to come closer. The very next afternoon, a dramatic change swept over the town. Dark, heavy clouds gathered overhead, and a fierce wind began to howl as rain poured down in sheets. Pico's little nest trembled on the bakery roof. Suddenly, a powerful gust of wind ripped his nest loose from its spot. "Help!" Pico cried, as the storm lifted him high above the streets, carrying him away. He flapped his wings with all his might, but the wind was relentless. Exhausted and overwhelmed, he finally glided down, landing in a part of town he had never seen before, far from the familiar scent of the bakery. When the storm finally subsided, an eerie silence fell over the wet streets. Street lamps flickered, casting shimmering reflections on the puddles below. The air smelled of rain-soaked stone. Pico was completely alone and utterly terrified. "Where am I?" he whispered to himself. "How will I ever find my way back?" Huddled beneath a park bench, trembling, Pico heard a soft voice. "Are you okay, little one?" He looked up to see a young girl named Mina, about 8 years old, holding a small, colorful umbrella. She offered a gentle smile and slowly held out her hand. "Don't be scared. You can come with me." Feeling a sense of trust, Pico hopped onto her shoulder. Him to her home, a cozy little apartment filled with green plants and warm sunlight. Mina gave him fresh water in a tiny bottle cap and offered him small bits of bread. Her cheerful laughter filled the room, and for the first time since the storm, Pico felt safe. Over the next few days, Pico stayed with Mina. She loved to paint and spent hours creating beautiful pictures of him sitting by the window. Pico had found a true friend. But as much as he enjoyed her company, he deeply missed Mrs. Lila, his rooftop nest, and the comforting sounds of Sunvale Square. One sunny morning, Mina opened her window wide. "Pico," she said softly, "you're strong now. I think you can fly home." She gently tied a tiny blue ribbon around his neck, a little gift so he would always remember her. Goodbye, my little friend. With a happy chirp, Pico took to the sky. He soared over streets, crossed rivers, and flew past shining rooftops, guided by the faint, familiar smell of fresh bread on the wind. When he finally landed on the bakery roof, Mrs. Lila gasped with joy. Pico, you're back. Paul, I was so worried the storm had taken you. Pico fluttered onto her shoulder, singing the happiest, most triumphant song she had ever heard. From that day on, Pico was no longer afraid of the wide world beyond his town. He often flew to visit Mina, sharing his time between her sunny balcony and his bakery rooftop. Holiday. He would tell the other birds incredible stories of friendship, of courage, and of how even the smallest wings can carry you on the greatest adventures. Every morning, the people of Sunvale would wake up to his song echoing through the streets of bright, joyful tune that served as a beautiful reminder to everyone that home isn't just a place, but the loving hearts that care for you.